ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषत् अध्याय 4 मंत्र 19। नैनमूर्ध्वं न तिर्यञ्चं न मध्ये परिजग्रभत न तस्य प्रतिमा अस्ति तस्य नाम महद्यशः। One cannot find Ishvara in any direction. This seems to be a contradiction because we keep saying Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Ishvara is there everywhere. Paramatma is there everywhere. In all directions. Mundakopanishad says, Brahmaivedam amritam purastat, Brahma paschat, Brahma dakshinataschotarena, adhaschordhancha prasratam, Brahmaivedam vishwamidam varishtham. Brahmaivedam amritam purastat. Whatever is there in the east is Brahman. Brahma paschat. What is there in the west is also Brahman. Brahma dakshinataha. What is there in the south is also Brahman. Uttarataha. Even in the north, what is there is Brahman. Adhascha urdhvam. Above and below. Meaning in all directions. Everything is Brahman. That is why, as far as Brahman is concerned, there is no direction. You have to face east. Does not mean Brahman is there only in the east. Generally, when we do any karma, we try to face east. Generally, any action is done facing east, any prayer. It is a niyama, a vidhi in the Shastra. Purvabhimukhya is enjoined in the Shastra. But that does not mean Brahman is there only in the east. Brahman is everywhere, in all directions. This has been told everywhere in the Upanishad. In all directions there is Brahman. But here Svetaswatara Upanishad says, even though Brahman is there in all directions, you cannot find Brahman in any direction. Brahman is there, but you cannot find. You cannot find does not mean Brahman is not there. That is how we have to resolve the contradiction. Upanishad does not say Brahman is not there in that direction, but you cannot find. Nainam urdhvam parijagrabhat enam urdhvam na parijagrabhat. One cannot find the Brahman above, going above. They say Uparwala, where is Ishvara? Above. Some people think Brahman is above, in the seventh sky. Some other plane there is a God. This is a theology. Therefore, you take up some vehicle and go above, rocket. Can you find Brahman there? Upanishad says you cannot find it there. Na tiryancham, in the same manner, why one cannot find Brahman below also, down below also. Go to any loka below, you cannot find Brahman. Na madhye, and in the same manner, even madhye, in between, in all horizontal directions, also one cannot find Brahman. Why is it so? It is not because Brahman does not exist, but it is because our indriyas cannot find Brahman. Our indriyas are not designed to perceive the Brahman. That is why, as long as you see outside, you cannot see Brahman. There is the story of Brahma and Vishnu, who tried to find the limit of Shiva. Shiva appeared in the form of a beam of light. Then both Brahma and Vishnu, they travelled in one direction, mutually opposite directions. One travelled above, another travelled below. And they tried to find the limitation of Shiva, Ishvara, but they could not find. Both returned without finding. That is a Puranic story. So the idea is, even though Brahman is everywhere, it is very sukshma, most subtle. That is why we are not able to see it with our gross senses. With our gross senses, definitely we cannot see. Definitely we cannot find. Then what about the mind? Even with the mind, as long as the mind is gross, we cannot find. That is why the Upanishad says, Drishyate tvagriya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhihi. When the buddhi is sukshma, when the mind is sukshma, meaning it is purified. Generally, people have a sthula buddhi. When the mind is not pure, it is sthula buddhi. Sthula buddhi in the sense, it goes towards only gross objects. And it fails to fathom the subtle. It fails to fathom the sukshma. But when the mind is purified, a pure mind starts fathoming the subtle truths. That is why the first thing we need to do is to purify the mind. Therefore, sukshmaya buddhya drishyate. When the mind is sukshma, the spiritual truth can be grasped. That is why purification of mind is indispensable in the case of spiritual pursuit. A sthula buddhi will not understand even the importance of the pursuit of moksha. Leave the pursuit of moksha, even the pursuit of dharma, a sthula buddhi cannot understand. If the mind is very gross, he will not understand why you have to give charity, why you have to be selfless. You cannot make this understood to a sthula buddhi, a very gross person, because his mind is not pure even to understand that. But as the mind becomes purer and purer, we start understanding the importance of the subtler things in life, the subtler truths of life. Therefore, sukshmaya buddhya drishyate. The Brahman can be found everywhere. One can be aware of the presence of Brahman when the mind is tuned to it. That is why a jnani sees Brahman in everything. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram. A jnani sees the Ishwara who is equally present in everything. Sarvatra samavasthitam. The Ishwara is present in everything. A jnani is able to be aware of it. The third pada of this mantra, na tasya pratima asti. This is a broadly widely misquoted statement. Na tasya pratima asti. This is more misquoted than quoted. Because there is a school of people who do not accept worshipping the Ishvara in an image. And such people try to justify their standpoint using a quotation from the Upanishad itself. They don't find any other quotation. Only one line in the entire Veda literature, in the entire Vedic literature, they find one line. That is this. Na tasya pratima asti. Therefore, you should not have a pratima. You should not have an image. This is their contention. But if you look into the Vedic literature, there are ample statements in favor of worshipping the Ishvara through an image. There is pratika upasanam. You can worship the Ishvara through any pratika, any representative, any symbol. The Shastras are very clear about it. Therefore, this statement does not mean you should not worship the Ishvara in an image. Then what does this statement mean? Pratima means upama, a comparison. The Ishvara does not have a comparison. Paramatma does not have a comparison. Natvat samostyabhyadhikah kutonyo lokatrayepya pratima prabhavaha. Where has it come? Just Wednesday we saw this shloka. In Wednesday class, Gita, Adhyaya 11, Arjuna tells Krishna, Vishwarupa, Natvat samostyabhyadhikah kutonyo. There is nobody equivalent to you. Then how can anybody be greater than you? Therefore, Arjuna tells Krishna, Apratima Prabhava. Even there, Apratima is there. Navidyate Pratima Yasya Saha Apratimaha. And in that line, it is very clear. Apratima means nobody is equivalent. Nobody can be compared. Therefore, even here, Pratima na asti means there is no comparison. So, if there is a Paramatma, how is that Paramatma like? If somebody asks, you cannot give an example. You cannot give a comparison and show Paramatma. See, Paramatma is like this tall person with the beard. You cannot give a comparison. That is why they say a story. Swami Vivekananda went to America, Chicago address. There were people of all religions. Vivekananda was the only person representing Hinduism there. Everybody else was padri and mullahs, all were there. People of all other religions were sitting there. Then Vivekananda tells a story. There was a well, a small well, and in that well there was a frog. Then another frog or a fish maybe. A fish comes from an ocean, big ocean, Pacific Ocean. A fish migrates from Pacific Ocean to this small well. Somehow it migrated. Somebody brought it and left it there perhaps. We don't know how. And then this frog is introducing itself to the newcomer. The frog tells the fish, "Oh, welcome to the well, my well. This is such a big well. This is the best well in the world. The biggest well in the world." The frog has not seen any other place. But still the frog thinks this is the best well, biggest well. Then the frog asked the fish, "Which well did you come from?" Then the fish says, "I didn't come from any well." "Then where did you come from?" The fish said, "I came from the ocean." "Huh? Ocean? What is ocean?" The frog doesn't know what an ocean is. Then the fish says, "Ocean is a big water body." Then the frog asks, "Is it bigger than this well?" Then the fish says, "It is bigger than thousands of wells put together." The frog is not able to understand what the fish is trying to say. Because until you go to an ocean and see, you cannot comprehend an ocean. It is not possible to comprehend an ocean until you go and see it for yourself. Because there is no comparison to the ocean. Somebody living in a village, even near Bangalore. In olden days, nowadays they go for a tour, but in olden days, an ordinary person could not go all the way even to Mangalore. It was difficult. He doesn't know what an ocean is, what a sea is. He lives in a village. And then another boy comes who lives in Mangalore, right on the sea beach. He comes and then this person tries to explain what an ocean, what a sea is. He cannot explain until he sees this boy for himself. he cannot comprehend. He may give so many explanations. It is big, and still at the maximum he will think it is like a bigger lake, because in Bangalore he has access to lakes, big lakes, Alsur Lake, Bellandur Lake. Therefore, Sagaras Sagaropamaha. An ocean has only one comparison, that is ocean. Ocean cannot be compared with anything else. Rama Ravanayor Yuddham, Rama Ravanayoriva. The fight between Rama and Ravana cannot be compared to any other's fight. It is like the fight between Rama and Ravana. In the same manner, the Brahman does not have any comparison. There is no upama. You cannot show something else and say Brahman is like this, because it is the infinite, the only reality. That is why it is not easy to comprehend Brahman for a person with the gross intellect, gross mind. Natasya pratima asti tasya nama mahadyashaha. If Brahman does not have any comparison, then how can one relate to Brahman? What is the way to relate to Brahman? The Shruti gives a way to relate to Brahman. Tasya nama. Paramatma's name, Bhagavan's name is the best way to relate to Bhagavan. Tasya nama mahadyashaha. Bhagavan's name has great fame. Ishvara's name has great fame, Mahadyashaha. If you look into the bhakti literature, a lot has been told about Bhagavan's name. Whether it is Tulasidas, Ramacharitamanasa, or whether it is the Dasa Sahitya in Kannada, everywhere Bhagavan's name has been glorified. In Ramacharitamanasa, many pages are dedicated to explain the glory of Ramanama. दंडकवन प्रभु कीन सुहावन, जनमन अमित नाम किए पावन, निशिचर निकर दले रघुनंदन, नाम सकल कलि कलुष निकंदन. Ramanama has a lot of power. It is more powerful than Bhagavan himself. That is the greatness of Ramanama. Dandakavan Prabhu Keen Suhavan. Rama cleaned one forest. That is Dandakavana, Dandakaranya. Rama cleaned Dandakaranya. Cleaning means not sweeping. What is cleaning? Killing the Rakshasas. There were many Rakshasas in Dandakavana. And Rama killed all those Rakshasas. There were rishis in Dandakavana. They were troubled by the Rakshasas. Then Rama killed those Rakshasas. Some of them were killed, some of them ran away. And then Dandakavana became livable. So Rama killed one Dandakavana. Whereas Rama Nama can clean many forests. Janaman amit naam kiye pavan. Our minds, even our minds are like Dandakaranya. It is like a forest. Because even in our mind, there are many Rakshasas. Ragadvesha mukha suramari. Ragadveshadi Rakshasas are there in the mind. Who can clean this mind forest? Manasa Dandaka. Manasa Dandakaranya. Who can clean? Tulasidas says, Ramanama can clean it. Chant Bhagavan's name, it will clean. And the Ramanama can clean many forests, not just one Dandakaranya. Nisichara nikar dale Raghunandan. Rama killed the Rakshasas. Nisichara nikar. Nama sakal kali kalusha nikandana. Whereas the name Bhagavan Nama, it can destroy all the impurities of Kali Yuga. All the impurities of Kali Yuga can be destroyed by Bhagavan's name. That is the greatness of Bhagavan's Nama. Namasmaranam is a great sadhana in Kali Yuga. Just before all of you came, I was having a discussion. See, nowadays, many people are listening to so many spiritual talks, so many satsangas, so many pravachanas. No doubt it is a very good sadhana, listening to pravachana, listening to any talk by any sadhu or any learned man, whoever. But is it enough a sadhana? Let me explain this with an example. Recently, I came across a lady. She had been listening to my talks for a long time. For many years, that is 9-10 years, she has been doing Shravana. And now she has lost her ears. She cannot hear anything, even single sound she cannot hear. And she says, now I am restless because I cannot hear the talks. Because she was habituated to listening to the talks. Now she cannot listen to the talk and she is restless. She doesn't know in what other way she can relate to Ishvara. Therefore, from this, I felt the need to say this. Shravana is a way, but the Shravana should lead to Smriti. As long as the Shravana does not lead to Smriti, the Shravana has not served its purpose. Smriti or Smarana, we can call it Smarana. Smarana means being able to abide in the spiritual thought without any external aid. That is why, in addition to Shravana, one should also do sadhanas like Namasmaranam, Dhyana, Namasmaranam, and slowly one should spend more time as the age advances. One should spend more time in sadhanas like Namasmaranam, Dhyanam, etc. When it is done, at some stage one is able to constantly abide in the thought of Paramatma without any external support. I hope you get this point. It is a very practical and very useful point. Please make note of it. Nowadays, some people say, for 8 hours I listen to Vedanta talk, for 9 hours I listen to Vedanta talk, where in YouTube, in recordings and all. I feel pity for them. Really, I feel pity for them. Because it is not a way to do the sadhana. First of all, they listen it somewhere online, internet, YouTube and so on. Unfortunately, people rely too much on such inanimate sources of knowledge. When people depend on the inanimate source of knowledge, even the knowledge they get is jada. It does not have the potency. It is like, if I have to light a lamp, how should I light a lamp? I need another flame. If I have one flame, from that I can light another lamp. Now I tell you, I don't have a flame, I don't have a matchstick, I have nothing, but I have a video of a burning lamp in my mobile. A video of a burning lamp in the mobile. Can it light another lamp? It cannot. Because that lamp is jada. It is only a picture. And when you see that, you will have a feeling that a real lamp is burning. Nowadays, unfortunately, even the Upadesha is happening that way. Therefore, always it is advisable to go to a person and take proper instruction, because the instruction may vary from person to person also. Anyway, it's not a, I don't mean to say it is a wrong thing to do Shravana. That is not the idea. If somebody is doing that, let them do at least that. Something is better than nothing. But we have to outgrow it. That is the idea. It is okay to be a child. it is okay to be spoon fed at some stage, but ultimately one should grow out of even the spoon feeding. At the age of 20, I say, oh, I cannot eat on my own, my mother has to spoon feed me. It is ridiculous. At the age of 1, it's okay. Let them spoon feed. Anyway, so I have just shown the direction. This is where we have to pass through. Tasya nama mahadyashaha. Bhagavan's name is great. Therefore, namasmaranam is a very good sadhana. Everybody can do it. One can take any name, Ramanama, Krishna Nama, Govinda Nama, any name can be chanted. Just repeat Bhagavan's name. Whichever name you find suitable, just chant that name. Shloka 20. Mantra 20. Mantra 20. न संदृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनं हृदा हृदिस्थं मनसा य एनं एवं विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति. नैनमूर्ध्वं न तिर्यञ्चं न मध्ये परिजग्रभत. One cannot find the Paramatma in any direction. This was stated. What is the hetu? What is the reason for that? It is being given here. न संदृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य. Asya रूपम. The Paramatmanah Swarupam, the nature of Paramatma, Sandrishena Tishtati. It does not become an object of our knowledge. It does not become an object of our knowledge. न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनं एनं कश्चन चक्षुषा न पश्यति. One does not perceive the Brahman with one's eyes. Eyes stand for all the senses, all the indriyas. Bhagavan is indriya agrahya, not object of senses. That is why one cannot see, one cannot find Brahman in any direction. Then how to know Brahman? It has been stated in the second half. Ye hridistham enam hrida manasa viduhu. Ye hridistham enam. The Brahman is there in the heart. If one has to find the Brahman, one has to look within, enquire within oneself. Hridistham, he is present in the heart, means in the mind, as the illuminer of the mind, as the Sakshi of the mind. The Brahman is present in the mind. Hrida manasa. Hrida. Hrida means with the pure heart, with the pure mind, with the Shuddha Manas. Manasa means jnanena, with the Atma Jnana, which is attained through Shastra Acharya Upadesha. Shastra Pramana, Vedanta Pramana, which is taught by an Acharya. Shastracharya Upadesha Janitena Atmajnanena. Only that kind of jnana can make one see the Atma, make one know the Atma. Te amrita bhavanti. Those who know with such jnana, they attain moksha. Te amrita bhavanti. They become immortal, means they get moksha. They become free from the cycle of birth and death. Amritaha means free from death. Free from death means free from the cycle of births. When there is a birth, there is a death also. Sometimes people think there is nothing wrong in having one more janma. Let me have one more birth. People think so. But the problem is, if there is one more birth, it is an entire cycle, entire package. Birth does not come without all the other things along with it. It is like buying jackfruit. If you buy a jackfruit, what all comes? There is thorn also outside, the thorny skin. Then inside there is a wax and all the waste materials, everything comes along with some pleasant, fleshy, edible portion. In fact, the edible portion is much lesser in a jackfruit. In the same manner, if we want one more janma, we have to be ready for one more vyadhi, jara, roga, mrityu, everything is there. All the trauma, all the childhood suffering, everything is there. That is why one more janma means one more death. That is why a mumukshu says, I don't want any more janma. Some people will theoretically say, I don't want another janma. But do we really aspire for moksha? This is another question we have to ask ourselves. Saying I don't want one more janma is easy. But if we have any desire, that means we are asking for another janma. Any desire that we cherish is as good as choosing one more janma. Because as long as there is a desire, an unfulfilled desire, another janma is assured. Kamanyah kamayate manyamanaha sakamabhirjayate tatra tatra. When somebody cherishes a desire, he is subject to be born again. With the same desire. Somebody says, in this janma I did not get married, so he will have some desire, let me get married. Then in the next janma he may get married. For getting married he will have one more janma. In this janma I did not see grandchild. In the next janma he may have to see grandchild. In this janma I did not become a lawyer. Then next janma is there. That is why a mumukshu should try to get rid of the desires. It is not to suppress the desire. Vedanta does not say suppress the desire. One has to get rid of the desire. One has to grow out of the desire through proper sadhana, through cultivating vairagya. It is a maturity. Getting rid of the desire is a maturity. It is not suppression. You should not have desire. Vedanta does not say you should not have desire. Desires are there, they are natural. They will keep coming. But how to grow out of the desire? That is where we need sadhana. That is why we need vichara. So, te amrita bhavanti. They become mukta. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi